there, welcome back to my channel. My name is Brittany Bundles and welcome to Motivational Monday. Every Monday I go over a scripture, a quote, a saying, an experience from my life, or an experience that you all send in to go over, elaborate on, and provide inspiration and motivation for the week. So if you are interested, be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. Please make sure that you are subscribed. Also, let's start sharing videos, especially Motivational Monday videos, because it does provide encouragement, inspiration, and motivation. And I would just love to hear or love to come in contact with everyone that I can to share the messages. And not only that, but I really enjoy when you all send in emails to me going over or explaining some of the motivational moments that you've experienced in your life. So if you have any motivational experiences, be sure to send them in to the email address right on the screen, which is btalks@yahoo.com. I'd love to hear from you, love to share it with the channel, with the family, and, you know, continue the motivational message and journey, you know, moving forward. So let's go ahead and get right into the video. Today's video is going to be about pushing past your comfort zone, especially in business. You know, I'm going to pull up my notes that I have here so we can get ready for the video. And while I'm pulling up the notes, the reason that I wanted to go over pushing past your comfort zone is because so many of us, myself included, we like to stick with what we're most comfortable with. You know, a lot of times we don't like change. And in order for us to grow, in order for us to be the best that we can, sometimes, most of the times, change is definitely necessary and change is definitely beneficial in any aspect in your life. And so, especially in business, you know, sometimes we can get caught up in the same processes, the same daily tasks and agendas that sometimes we forget to challenge ourselves. You know what I mean? Like every day in business is definitely challenging. Operating a business, staying in business, all of that is a challenge. But I feel that sometimes, like I just mentioned, sometimes we get comfortable where we're at and we just are too nervous or too comfortable or too complacent in life to want to do more, to want to push outside of our comfort zones and take chances and take risks. And sometimes that's very necessary to do, especially if you're wanting to stay in business. So that's why I'm making this video today. Even for those of you that are working full time, you know, there's a lot of opportunities in a lot of different corporations and a lot of different jobs. And I think, you know, sometimes we overlook those opportunities, maybe because we're comfortable in the role that we're at now, or we're comfortable in the position or our job title, or maybe we don't want to do the extra work. But sometimes we do have to start putting ourselves in different positions to get more out of the position that we're in, or more out of the business that we're operating, or just more out of life in general. So the first thing that I'm going to go over is exploring new strategies. Let me crack my windows some. All right, so we're going to go over exploring new strategies. So in business, like I was just mentioning, a lot of times we get into I don't even want to say in business, because this can go for whether you're working your 9 to 5, whether you're operating a business, whether you're, you know, just living life, trying to be the best that you can every day. Sometimes we just get stuck and get into the groove of how we typically do things. And we're not really too open to exploring new strategies. We're not really open to new ideas or new advice. You know, sometimes when we feel like something is working, and sometimes when things are working, we're like, you know what, I'm not going to change anything. And although I do believe that it's very beneficial to stick to a schedule. I think it's very beneficial to create like a regimen for your business, for your lifestyle, even if you are working. I think those are great benefits. However, I do also think that keeping an open mindset towards new strategies, new opinions, new outlooks on different, you know, tools that you can use, maybe different products, I think that's all a benefit as well. So we want to make sure that we're still finding that we're pretty much finding a balance between our successful work strategies and also being open to incorporating new strategies that can help. And some of the ways that we can do that is by taking surveys. You know, I made a video a few days ago about how to survey your customers, how to survey your coworkers, how to survey people that you may have presented in front of or invited to an event that you created. And I strongly recommend, if you didn't watch it, to watch it, because I'm going over SurveyMonkey, and a lot of people don't use SurveyMonkey or don't know how, and I go over how to do that. But that's a great way to try and see how other people feel. You know, a lot of times we get, like I said, we get so used to doing it our way that we kind of forget to get feedback. Feedback is definitely important. And creating new strategies, new products, new processes is definitely important as well in business. So we don't want to overlook that. Another thing that I want to go over is be open to meeting collaborating and really networking with others. So like me, for example, I don't want to say I'm not a people person, because obviously I am, but especially before I started my business, I didn't talk to a lot of people. I would find it hard to go up and just start conversations. And I was very nervous and very scared, and even when I was in school, I wasn't someone that would just go up and start having conversations with other people. And that's why I love my business. I love working, being an entrepreneur, because it forces me to do things that I'm not necessarily comfortable with all the time. Sometimes when I'm asked to speak at different places, I'm not comfortable. I get nervous, I get scared, like, do I really want to do this? Especially the night before, I get so nervous, I may not want to sleep. There's different things that are come my way. The longer you stay in business, the larger you get. There's different opportunities that come your way, and sometimes they are going to make you nervous. Sometimes they are going to make you uncomfortable. Even if some things don't come to you, there's still going to be some things that are necessary for your business to do the best that it can. So if you're nervous about, let's take being on social media. I know for me, when I first started my business, I did not want to be on social media at all. I really didn't like Facebook. I don't want to say I don't like social media, but social media just wasn't for me. I just didn't find enjoyment in sharing everything that I did. I didn't find enjoyment in sharing every new process or change that I implemented with my business. I found out that some of social media use is very, very useful, especially if you are wanting to grow following, especially if you are wanting to network and reach other people and share information about your business. Because although we may feel that a good amount of people know about us, this world is huge. You know what I mean? And so we have to stop limiting ourselves by our fears or by what we don't want to do. A lot of times in business, there are going to be things that you don't want to do that are necessary for you to do in order for you to succeed. The same as when you're working, say at 5, there's certain things that you need to do that may push you past your comfort zone. And everything that I was uncomfortable with doing has definitely benefited me. You know what I mean? I was uncomfortable about starting a YouTube channel, and I definitely love working with all of you on YouTube. There's so many people that I've met, and I was uncomfortable about posting on Instagram. I was uncomfortable about posting on Facebook. And a lot of people that I work with contact me through Instagram and through Facebook. I was uncomfortable about public speaking, but a lot of the opportunities that I'm getting or emails that I'm getting from different companies are requesting public speaking opportunities. And so it's just a great way to build your brand. Some things you aren't comfortable with. I remember even when I was in a magazine for the first time, I was very, very nervous about that. When the magazine editor came to me and she was like, how do you feel about this rough draft? Does this incorporate everything that you wanted it to say about what you're doing, about your business? And I was just nervous. I really didn't want, I wanted people to read it, but I kind of didn't. I was just really shy still. And so once it was published, and I actually saw my magazine like in the mall, I saw my magazine in different local stores and salons, and I was really, really excited. I was like, wow, I was really nervous to do this, but I'm happy I did it. Same with the radio interview. I was very nervous. There's a lot of things that you are going to be nervous about, but you don't want it to limit how great you can be, if you understand what I'm saying. I'm not saying don't use your judgment. I'm not saying do every single thing that you think of, but I'm saying that if there's something that is necessary for your business to succeed, and a lot of times we'll know like, okay, I'm not posting on social media because I'm insecure about this, or I'm not posting on social media because I'm nervous about this. We'll know kind of that social media can help, but we won't do it. The same as, say there's like an event that someone's putting on, a pop-up shop, and you're just nervous to collaborate with people because you really don't know anyone there. And so you don't sign up for that event just because you're nervous about how others think about you. That's something that can potentially harm your brand because you're not putting your all into it. Sometimes when we try but not try our best, we get results, but we don't get the best results back. And so this whole video is just explaining that you really need to go forward with what it is that's necessary for your business to succeed. Like I said, sometimes we get caught up in just doing the same thing, and nothing's wrong with a routine, but there's nothing wrong with making sure that we're pushing ourselves too. And sometimes even if we don't get opportunities, like say someone doesn't reach out to you for a collaboration, or someone doesn't reach out to you for an interview, or someone doesn't reach out to you, there's still different things that you can do as far as making sure that you're pushing yourself. Have I reached out to anyone for an opportunity? Have I reached out to anyone to network? Have I reached out to anyone to spread awareness on my brand. We kind of have to look at what we're doing too. And even though it may be uncomfortable, and I know a lot of people are like, I'm not going to reach out to all these people. Sometimes you have to. Sometimes you have to do what's necessary to be done in order to move your business forward. Now, I'm not saying lose your integrity or doing anything that's underhanded, but I am saying that a lot of times we are going to have to put ourselves out there, and that makes people uncomfortable, but it's necessary to grow. So the next thing that I'm going to go over is, have you tested your comfort? So have we tested our comfort zones recently? Have we tried ourselves? Sometimes we don't know what we're uncomfortable with until we actually test ourselves, and some of the ways that we can test ourselves are by sitting down and just thinking, this is my list. These are my goals that I wanted to accomplish for my business. Okay, so I know that one of my goals is to do a pop-up shop. Okay, have I tested my comfortability? Meaning, have I reached out to anyone? Like I kind of just mentioned, have I reached out to anyone? Have I created any like flyers, any, events where maybe I can put on the pop-up shop and others can join me? I mean, what have I done to step outside of that comfort zone to make sure that I've reached my goals? And you may not even know that you're uncomfortable with doing something until you actually do it. But what I would do is go back to that list that we all created in the beginning of the year, go back to our goals, go back to our desires, our dreams, and figure out, these are the goals I haven't met, but what have I really done to reach the goals? If all you can say you've done is, okay, I've posted things on Facebook, I've posted something on Instagram, we have to start thinking deeper. What else can I do? Even though I may feel uncomfortable, what else can I do to make sure that I really give this 110%? So test your comfortability. Do things that are not typical for you and your business. Do things that may kind of make you nervous if the thought pops in your head. Sometimes we get thoughts that pop in our head and we kind of just push them out like, no, I'm not doing that. No, I'm not doing that. But sometimes those thoughts are what's needed to actually rejuvenate our business. And so I'm this year, I'm really focused on doing things that make me uncomfortable, doing things that challenge me to grow, doing things that challenge me to work with others, because it's what's necessary. And once you do it, it's like doing something that you're scared of. Like, let's say you're scared of riding on the back of a motorcycle. The first time you do it, you may be terrified. The second time you do it, you may be a little scared. The third time, you may be a little nervous. But the more you do it, the easier it becomes. And so that's the same in business. The more you push yourself to do things that you really aren't comfortable with, the more it becomes easy. And then we also have to say to ourselves, we have to stop being so conscious of, not conscious, what's the right word? So critical of how we think others are going to think about the actions that we do. Now, it's very important to keep in mind your brand, and to make sure that you're representing your brand and yourself correctly. I don't want to downplay that at all. But it's also very important to not move in a way where you're so critical of everything that you do, to the point that you're not doing anything because you're talking yourself out of it based on how you think others will feel. A lot of times we get to the position that we're in, whether you are happy with the position you're at now or not, we get the following, we get the momentum, a little momentum with our business, and then we just kind of stop. We get nervous to post anything else, and we get nervous to do this and nervous to do that. But we have to realize that the reason that we started growing is because we were being ourselves. So always be yourself. Always take into consideration what others are saying, but ultimately have enough confidence in you to know, even if you do something that you're nervous about and say it goes just as bad as you thought it was going to go. And I'm saying bad because a lot of times when we're nervous, we have this preconceived notion that everything's going to go bad. So let's say it goes bad. Let's say I do a speaking event and it goes horrible. Let's just say that, we have to look at how we're grading horrible. Even if you stumble over some words, even if you get nervous and forget a line, it's you have to look at the overall picture. It's still something that you did, and it's still something that gave publicity and awareness to your brand. And I'm positive that even in your faults, you still were able to help someone else. And that's really all it's about. So we have to really stop looking at, what if I mess up? If you mess up, you learn. There's really no failure in business. I don't like to use the term failure in life or in business, because it's really not that you failed. It's really that you learn. You win some and you learn from others. And so there are things, like I've been mentioning this whole video, that we have to push ourselves to do, even if we're fearful, and we have to be open to the results that we get back. Hey, this wasn't the best, but it was only my first, and you have to start somewhere. So it's great to get that practice in. It's great to start trying to open the doors and test yourself on how comfortable you are doing certain things in certain situations with certain people, so that in the future you'll be that much better. The last thing that I'm going to go over is embracing your fears. So a lot of times we like to tell ourselves that we're not really scared or nervous to do anything. We just don't want to do it. And we leave it like that, you know, because it's easier for us to justify in our mind that we just don't want to do something, so we're not, you know, like I just don't want to do an event with her. I just don't want to, so I ain't gonna do nothing I don't want to do. When really we know deep down that we do want to do an event, but we may just be nervous, or we may just have some concerns based on the person or based on the location or based on whatever. But we don't really like to delve into the issue. We really just breeze it off as I just don't like that person, or I just don't feel comfortable doing it, or the event's too far, or, you know, we try to justify it in our mind. And a lot of times what we need to focus on doing is just embracing our fears. Understanding, okay, yes, I am a little nervous to present at this pop-up shop because I don't know anyone there. Or yes, I am a little nervous to sign up for this event because I am nervous about the area. You know, I haven't never been to the area, and I don't really know if I'm going to be accepted in this hometown. You know, most of my customers are from this place, so I don't know if anyone really is going to know me or gravitate to what I'm doing. You know, just things like that. Our mind really just, if we let it go, it can just take us different places that really just stop our growth. And so we have to start speaking truth, like I mentioned a lot of my videos, speaking truth to ourselves. I'm not saying ever do anything that's going to compromise your safety. Don't ever do anything that's going to compromise your morals or your integrity. But there are things that, like I've been mentioning the whole video, that are necessary for us to do, that some of us are just nervous or, you know, too shy or just uncomfortable with doing. And it's good to be uncomfortable. You know, it's good to push yourself past your comfort zones. It's good to take a chance and take a risk, because a lot of times in business it is a risk. You know, you're doing something, you're going forward with your dreams based on faith. You know, based on faith. And that can be, to a lot of people, risky. And a lot of times, you know, it goes as we plan, and sometimes it doesn't. But we want to make sure with our business that we're giving it 110%, nothing less. And any opportunities that we have, any events that we go to, even if we don't do exactly how we intended to do, or even if we don't do as well as we hoped we do, we still have to look at it as a learning experience and still be willing to put ourselves in more uncomfortable positions in order for us to grow. So I hope this video provided motivation and inspiration for you all. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them down below. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye.